Number 8. They don't crave external validation. You know that friend who posts a selfie and then refreshes Instagram every 30 seconds to count the hearts? The one who deletes photos if they don't hit a certain number of likes within the first hour? You've never been that person. While others are chasing digital applause, you've built something uncommon, self-worth that doesn't need an audience. This goes deeper than being antisocial or camera shy. Psychologists call this intrinsic motivation, where your sense of value comes from internal sources rather than external feedback loops. Your brain doesn't need the dopamine hit of notifications to feel good about who you are or what you're doing. Most people treat social media like an emotional slot machine, pulling the lever with each post and hoping for a jackpot of validation. But you've opted out of that game entirely. You don't need strangers to confirm your worth because you've already figured out how to generate that confidence from within. This creates a fascinating paradox. The less you need recognition, the more genuinely confident you become. People can sense the difference between someone who's secure in themselves and someone who's performing for approval. And smart people know that true confidence speaks loudest when it doesn't need to say anything at all. Number 7. They protect their peace. Every photo you post opens a door. And sometimes, uninvited guests walk through. The judgment, the unsolicited opinions, and the weird comments from people you barely remember from high school. Smart people realize that every photo shared is an open invitation into their emotional world. This is what researchers call emotional labor. Each post requires you to manage not just your own feelings about sharing, but everyone else's reactions to what you've shared. It's like being responsible for a party where you can't control who shows up or how they behave. That's an exhausting mental workout that most people don't even realize they're signing up for. You've learned that caring for your nervous system is an act of wisdom. While others are dealing with the stress of managing their online image and responding to every comment, you're investing that same energy into things that actually matter to you. You've mastered the art of strategic energy management. Every bit of energy saved from social media gets redirected toward real growth. It's like choosing to live in a house without glass walls. Sure, fewer people can see in, but you also don't have to worry about who's watching or what they think about your furniture choices. You get to exist without performing, and that freedom is more valuable than any number of likes. Because sometimes, the wisest move is keeping the curtains closed. Number 6. They don't see their face as their identity. Here's something interesting. People who rarely post photos often have the strongest sense of self. They've learned to separate who they are from how they look, which is surprisingly rare in a world obsessed with appearances. This clarity creates an unshakable foundation that external opinions can't touch. Your identity lives in your values, your ideas, your actions, and your relationships. The shape of your nose, or the way you look in morning light, that's just the packaging. This understanding runs deeper than most people ever reach, and you're smart enough to know that packaging isn't the product. This creates a different relationship with cameras, mirrors, and self-perception. Instead of constantly curating your image, you're developing your character. Instead of perfecting your angles, you're exploring your interests. It's like the difference between being an actor and being a person. One is performance, the other is authentic living. When your sense of self isn't tied to your appearance, you become immune to a lot of the anxiety that drives social media addiction. Bad hair day? Doesn't matter. Unflattering photo? Who cares? You've got bigger things to think about than whether your jawline looks good in this lighting. While others are trapped in mirrors, you're busy building a life worth living. Number 5. They see the trap. Social media platforms are designed by some of the smartest behavioral psychologists in the world. Their job is to keep you scrolling, posting, and engaging for as long as possible. They've turned human attention into a commodity, and they're very good at harvesting it. You've recognized this for what it is, a psychological game engineered to create dependency. The variable reward schedule of likes and comments triggers the same brain pathways as gambling. The fear of missing out keeps you checking nonstop. The social comparison makes you feel inadequate unless you're performing. Others might call it paranoia, but you're just tuned in to the patterns they overlook. You can see the strings being pulled, and you've decided not to dance. While others are caught in the dopamine feedback loop, you're observing it from the outside with the clarity that comes from not being trapped inside it. It's like watching people get excited about a magic trick, when you can see exactly how it's done. Once you understand the mechanics of manipulation, it loses its power over you. The illusion only works on those who can't see behind the curtain. Your intelligence has become your immunity to a system designed for manipulation of everyone else. Number 4. They prefer real connection over broadcasting. There's a difference between sharing a moment and performing one. When a meaningful moment happens in your life, your first instinct isn't to document it for an audience. It's to experience it fully or share it with someone who actually matters to you. This reveals something profound about how you process relationships. You understand that intimacy doesn't scale. A deep conversation with one person creates more connection than a clever caption seen by hundreds of acquaintances. Quality beats quantity every single time. Broadcasting turns life into content and relationships into audience metrics. But real connection happens in those spaces between people, not in the comments section. It requires your full attention, something impossible when half your mind is composing captions. It's rooted in presence, vulnerability, and shared experience, none of which require a camera. You'd rather have coffee with a friend and talk about something that matters than stage the perfect coffee shop photo for people who weren't even there. That choice says everything about what you value. Substance over surface, depth over reach, and connection over performance. While others gather followers, you collect real moments that change you from the inside out. Number 3. They're comfortable being mysterious. In a world where everyone shares everything, choosing to share nothing becomes its own form of power. Mystery comes from understanding that not everything needs to be public knowledge. It's the intelligence to recognize that scarcity creates value, even when it comes to information about yourself. This comfort with mystery often comes from having a rich inner life that doesn't need external validation. You're interesting to yourself, which means you don't need to prove your worth to others through constant updates about your activities, thoughts, or whereabouts. There's something quietly magnetic about people who can't be easily categorized or understood through their social media presence. When someone can't scroll through your photos to figure out who you are, they have to actually talk to you. That creates a different kind of interaction entirely. You've learned that revealing everything about yourself removes the incentive for others to get to know you. Why would someone ask about your weekend if they already watched it unfold in real time through your stories? Mystery creates space for genuine curiosity and conversation. And smart people know that the most interesting stories are the ones you have to earn the right to hear. Number 2. They value privacy like gold. Every photo you post becomes part of your permanent digital record. Every location tag creates a map of your movements, and each tagged friend reveals your social connections. Smart people understand that privacy, once lost, is almost impossible to recover. Having something to protect matters more than having something to hide. Your privacy shields you from real risks, such as identity theft, photos being taken for fake dating profiles, and AI deepfakes that can be used for extortion or humiliation. Your privacy gives you the power to control your own narrative, to choose what parts of yourself you share and with whom. It's the difference between being an open book and being selectively transparent. The internet never forgets, and it rarely verifies context or identity. Even one selfie can be extracted, cloned, and repurposed within minutes. That photo from 5 years ago can be misunderstood by strangers who don't know your story. That casual comment that made sense in the moment may not age well as the world shifts around it. You treat your privacy like a valuable resource because that's exactly what it is. In an economy built on personal data, choosing not to participate is both a form of resistance and a form of self-preservation. You're keeping something for yourself in a world that wants to monetize everything. While others trade their personal information for likes, you've kept the most valuable currency of all, the right to remain unknown. Number 1. They prefer living over documenting. You're at a concert, and half the audience is watching the show through their phone screens, recording videos they'll probably never see again. Meanwhile, you're actually there, feeling the bass in your chest, watching the artist's expressions, and living the moment instead of documenting it. Here's the thing about constantly photographing your life. It changes how you experience it. When you're always looking for the perfect shot, you start living for the camera instead of living for yourself. The sunset becomes a photo opportunity instead of a moment of beauty. You've chosen presence over performance. When something beautiful happens, you let yourself be fully there for the moment. You feel the sun on your face instead of worrying about the lighting. And you actually have conversations instead of creating content. This creates a different quality of memory. Instead of having hundreds of photos that all look the same, you have vivid recollections of how things felt, smelled, and sounded. Your memories are stored in your mind and body, not just in your photo library. While other people scroll through their past, you actually remember living it. So if you don't post your face on social media, you're part of a quiet revolution of intelligent people who figured out what really matters. You've chosen real living over digital performance, real connection over virtual validation, and genuine experience over manufactured moments. While the world grows more chaotic online, you've found something more valuable: the wisdom to live fully in the quiet spaces that can't be captured. We explain a lot around here. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.